Success stories always inspire us. Recently, we had an opportunity to talk to Miss Shriti Pandey, one of our KIET alumni and founder of Strawcture Eco, to understand her journey from an engineering student to an entrepreneur. Let's listen what she said to us.
Strawcture Eco is a green construction company. It was registered as a private limited company in January 2018. And the vision of the company is to make housing more accessible, affordable and sustainable for all. And the achievements that Strawcture Eco has achieved so far in less than 2 years is we are the first company to achieve Social Impact Challenge Award in the United Nations in New York last year. We also were the runner-up of UP Startup Conclave. We are incubated by Niti Aayog, IIM Bangalore, and we are in partnership with Tata Steel to build low-cost housing structures in rural economy in India. Strawcture Eco was born out of my personal experience being in a village for 1 year. I did a rural fellowship called State Bank of India Youth for India in the year of 2017. I lived in a village in Madhya Pradesh, and that experience made me realize that there's a huge potential for building houses that are low cost and thermally more comfortable than the traditional houses that we live in for the rural community, who 90% of who do not have a proper house. So the very first challenge I think every startup or every entrepreneur faces is that when you go to people and you pitch the idea, nobody believes you. They usually think it's a crazy idea. People thought we've been building with concrete and brick for more than 100 years. Why would people like to switch? So initially the resistance was psychological. Over a period of time, once we did the first model, people started to see our house and believe in it. The next challenge was convincing people to work with us in the team. And because a lot of time people prefer working in corporates in steady jobs than startups because of the flexibility and insecurity. But in the last 1.5 years, we've been able to have a good, strong team of 15 people who believe in the vision as much as I do, and we're going strong. So I did my bachelor's in civil engineering in 2010 and I graduated in 2014. The 4 years of my BTech was in KIET. Post that, I had a lot of interest in civil engineering and I wanted to study more instead of immediately get a job. And so I went to US to do my master's in construction management. That was my first moment where I tried to connect construction and business side. I didn't want to just do a traditional MBA, which a lot of engineers pursue post the graduation. And when I was doing my construction management, I saw a huge potential of doing your own business in construction space and implementing new technologies which are going to be the future. As an entrepreneur, I would say for the last 1.5 years, it's always hectic. I'm not taking a single day off. In 1.5 years, it's impossible to give yourself a holiday. But it's exciting at the same time because knowing that you have the power to create something, to make decisions, and also help people do more than just a job. It gives you immense gratification that helps you keep going even without 8 hours daily schedule or without any weekends. My education at KIET was the first time I was introduced to the concept of engineering. Until then, I actually thought I would study economics. But life had different plannings and I got into engineering. And a few of my professors who were then in KIET really gave me that passion to get into it in depth, especially Bishwas sir, who taught at RCC when we were in KIET, really made me so interested in engineering that I started reading all the reference book along with textbooks when it came to concrete and steel technology. So KIET played a huge role. It made me realize the importance of engineering. And if it wasn't for studying here, I don't think I would be anywhere in this field at all. When I was a student in KIET, I was actually helping the TBI incubator in KIET for a few months as a volunteer, sometimes also as an intern. I think KIET has one of the best incubation facilities and infrastructure in all of UP. I've been incubated in IIM Bangalore and IT Delhi, so I've seen other incubators in the country as well. I think KIET incubator has a huge potential. It's now up to the students, I believe, who, if they have any kind of idea while they're in the school phase of their life, to go there and actually utilize the resources. Because the thing with you have to make the first step forward to ask for resources. Until then, the incubator or your mentors can't really help you. So as long as I think the students here make the most use in terms of quality, we have the best possible. I think in today's world, whether it's India or globally, the trends are changing very soon. So whether you're a civil engineer or a computer science student, what you have to realize in your third year or fourth year is what is going to be the trend for next 10 years. You don't have to understand what's going to be there for next 50, because everything would change in 50 years. But if you can understand and grasp the main trend in your field in next 5 or 10 years, and even if that is not a proper course yet in the school, let's say for example artificial intelligence, so if you can really make yourself skilled in that trend before you graduate, I think there's huge potential for whether you want to do a job or you want to create your own opportunities for yourself. I'll give a small example. In our construction field, the technology that we use few softwares that are actually not taught in any of the civil engineering schools. So if a student could train themselves in new 3D or designing softwares instead of just AutoCAD, there's huge potential to even get a nice paying job, or to start your own consultancy and work with startups who need these new technologies.
Okay.
Of course, that's the main trend and the way the things are right now. I think the main reason for that is that we have this idea that if we have no background, if we have no safety cushion, we cannot start something of our own, which is justifiable. I felt the same way. But all I can tell anyone with my experience is that once you start doing your own thing and you start pitching, you'll realize that at least we live in India right now at a moment where there's a lot of ecosystem already developed. I literally started off by randomly applying to pitch competitions that a lot of students might have known about. And I was rejected at 10 of them, but then one of them clicked. I got incubated by NITI Aayog. So if you have an idea, don't even think about turning that into a business or registering a company, because those are more complex and legal affairs. If you have an idea, just write it down, make a small business model of it on a presentation, and start pitching to your schools in your own neighborhood, in other competition, and you'll find like-minded people, and that's the key. Once you find more like-minded people who believe in the idea, you can have your own team and you can start off. And when you finally have your first paying customer is when you have to get into the nitty-gritty of registering a company. Until then, don't think about those things, because that will make you scared and question you to jump into it. So if you have an idea, just start by making a minimum viable product out of it that you can, and start pitching as much as you can so that you can refine your idea. So in India right now, almost every state and every big district has an incubator. Every premier institutes have incubators. So the main step would be for any idea or any student to first get incubated if they have an idea, because the incubator provides you that cushion, it gives you that stipend, it gives you the right mentors. Because what you lack as an entrepreneur is not imagination or the creativity. What you lack is experience. So if you're starting off as early as 23, 24, if you could just get experienced people to guide you, which these incubators and accelerators help you with, I think startup, if you have the right attitude to be a founder, you'll figure it out. I would say I think risk is inversely proportional to age. So if you are in college, that's the best time where you can take risks. Not rash, but like calculated risk. So do take as many calculated risks as you can. If you have an idea, there's nothing. You can easily, devote 1 year of your life to that. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't. You'll still find a job. There's always a job in the market. So take those risks if you have an idea, if you believe in something for a year or two, and you'll see that if you really put your own 100% into it, before that deadline arrives, you'll be somewhere far more mature with that idea.